Hello everyone. I am starting this vlog right after I finished the vlog where I finished reading ACOTAR, because now I'm reading A Court of Mist and Fury. So I just wanted to do a little intro before I get into it. I'm excited! I was like, I need to read it right away. I'm excited! I read a synopsis already. I kind of read like a little bit of spoiler, of course. So annoying. This opening scene is so sad, like literally her remembering what she did there, but then at the end, like the last person she faces is herself and she has to kill herself. That's crazy. And like she's having a panic attack right now, and Tamlin didn't even wake up like when she jolted awake. Like what the heck? What's with that? Suspect. Forgot to add that in the first book, Rhysand, since the queen has been ruling, has been like using him as like a whore. How do you like say that nicely? Like an escort, a prostitute, I don't know, a sex worker. And he's been forced to do that because it's her enemy's son. So she chose Rhysand to like warm her bed. That is so sad. It reminds me of Finnick Odair from the Hunger Games, like that story. I'm at the part now where it's the wedding and she was like about to have a panic attack and she's like, someone help me, no. And Rhysand heard her and came, and he's like, it's time for me to call in my bargain. It's time for you to come with me for a week. Feyre has been so like anxious. I've been like picking my lips. I don't think that's like the main reason. I like literally like picked my lips to the core. Rhys is a feminist. The things he's saying, like, there can be a high lady, after Tamlin was like, no, there's never been a high lady, blah 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 blah. Rhysand's over here like contradicting every little thing, every single thing. He's like, there can be, and you might be, or you might be all. You have this power. She's like, I don't have this power. He's like, they want to wrap you up in a little bow like you're his prize. I have a feeling it's not out of jealousy that him saying like, oh, like you're his prize. Like, I think they mean it the other way around. She got him as a prize because she's the winner, not Tamlin. You know what I'm saying? Because she's the one who did... Yuna's like, what? Because she's the one who did all that work. He's saying how truly strong she is, but everyone's like overlooking her, and they're just like, oh yeah, Tamlin this, Tamlin that, Tamlin this. She's like, oh, Tamlin will never allow that for me to like practice my powers. And he's like, he's not your keeper. And she's like, but he's my high lord, I'm his subject. And he's like, you're no one's subject. Wait, you know that vine that's like, she is very gorgeous to me? That's literally the energy Rhysand is giving. Like, he's slaying, and people expect not to like him. Like, hello? Look, Tamlin won't allow it. Tamlin isn't your keeper, and you know it. I'm his subject, and he is my high lord. You are no one's subject. I went rigid at the flash of teeth, the smoke like wings that flared out. I will say this once, and only once. Rhysand purred. He's always purring. I thought he's like a dragon type thing, not like a cat. Stalking to the map on the wall. You can be a pawn, be someone's reward, and spend the rest of your immortal life bowing and scraping and pretending you're less than him. Because he knows her worth, and he knows that she views herself as less, because she in earlier chapters is like, I'm not worthy of him, I can't be what he needs, I can't marry him, blah 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 blah. But like, he's not worthy of her is what he's saying. Like, she is way above him. That's, wow, king scrapping and pretending you're less than him. Then Ianthe, I don't know how to say her name, but she's the priestess there that was helping her. Then any of us. If you want to pick that road, then fine. A shame, but it's your choice. The shadow wings rippled again. But I know you, more than you realize, I think. And I don't believe for one damn minute that you're remotely fine with being a pretty trophy for someone who sat on his ass for nearly 50 years, then sat on his ass while you were shredded apart. Stop it. Or, he plowed ahead, you've got another choice. You can master... like, wow, he's really giving her the courage that she needed. Like, they were just like letting her wallow in her own depression, just trying to like move on and not trying to conquer it, while Rhysand is putting it head first. Like, wow, he knows her. I know it's supposed to be like, I think it's supposed to still be a secret. I don't know if like readers got that, like the love triangle thing that's going on. Well, obviously, but like that he now is like seeing her, or like are people just like not saying that? Like, I don't know if I would have known that without like knowing spoilers. Which is so annoying. But like, I knew the spoilers before I even started the book. You know what I'm saying? Like, before I even had thoughts that I wanted to read the book. Tamlin has got a grip on her. He like does not want to talk about anything. And when she came in, like once he like hugged her and whatever, saw she was fine, he wanted to like get to investigating her. She wanted to like kiss him and whatever and be close to him, but he was like, no, we have to question you first, or we have to ask you some questions while your mind is still fresh. He just like keeps kind of gaslighting her. It's like, no, you're fine, you don't need to be doing these things, like you don't need to be protecting yourself, you don't need to do this and this and this, which is like literally her nature. Like, remember in the beginning of the book where she was like literally so stubborn and strong and she wanted to know everything, and then the same thing happened where she got comfortable with Tamlin. She was just like fine, and then a lull, and she told him to go away, and she's like, okay, fine. But if she had kept pressing for answers and that, I don't know the word, but like if she would have figured out the cure and like maybe said I love you earlier, and the things that happened on the mountain wouldn't happen. And it's happening again where like they keep coddling her, like as Rhys said. Like, wow, this is crazy. She's like just keeps thinking like he's like better than her, like Tamlin is, just because like he's her savior in a type way. And she was like, oh my god, wow, the bravery Rhys has to like not tremble at Tamlin when he's mad like that. In her head she's like, oh, I would have panicked if his teeth were near me like that. And he like hears her thoughts, he like looks at her, he's like, no you wouldn't, like in the middle of their conversation he's like, no you wouldn't, as my memory serves correctly, you slapped him last time he was his teeth were close to you, like that, like reminding her of like who she is at the core. She like has lost a lot of weight, I'm pretty sure because of her depression and like her throwing up. Rhys has noticed that like when she started coming to him. And then I'm just thinking, I'm just like now connecting, like remember in the beginning of the first book when Tamlin was so concerned about her eating and he's like, eat, sit down and eat, like forcing her to eat even though she wouldn't take it because like he was concerned about her well-being. And like it's just like Tamlin has like a wall up, and like I don't know, he's like not taking other people's feelings into consideration, only his own selfish needs. Like, I can't bear losing you again, what that made me go through, blah blah blah, like what about her feelings? And he's like, I tried though, I'm like, I'm trying, but like not hard enough, like she's drowning, which is what she said. It's just crazy, like the contrasting things because of what happened, that like Tamlin, I don't know, is not noticing her well-being or just not noticing things he used to notice before because he's so busy and he like barely has time for Feyre. He's like taking her for granted. And then Rhys now is like, of course I'll make time for you, like I'm busy but like I'll make time for you, you know. Rhys makes me want to cry. He's literally like bringing her food like because he notices she doesn't want to eat. Oh my god. And earlier when he's like, I've been tortured by her for 4 years, what did he say? I need to quote this. He said, I was a prisoner in her court for nearly 50 years. I was tortured and beaten and fucked until only telling myself who I was, what I had to protect, kept me from trying to find a way to end it. That is so sad. But like all of them had to go through that, you know, probably, I don't know. Well, he put himself in there like just for his people. And then she just like is so a ghost of herself because she's like, I don't know if I have it in me anymore, I gave enough, because like that's what Tamlin's telling her. And so then he like is trying to like give her life, honestly. She's just like being so short, and normally she has like this feist to her. Even back in the dungeon, like she had like this kind of feist to her sometimes. Now she's just kind of like docile. And he's like catching on to that. He's like, oh, thank you, not high lord and servant or whatever it is you want. You can go shove it up your ass, Rhys. He clicks his tongue. How disappointing. She wants to eat her food, and he's like moving it away, and he goes, he's like, tell me what to do. Tell me what to do to help you. Rhys kept the plate beyond reach, spoke again as if the words tumbling out loosened his grip on his power talons, and smoke curled over his fingers and great wings of shadow spread from his back. Months and months, and you're still a ghost? Does no one dare ask what the hell is happening? Does your high lord simply not care? He did care. Tamlin did care. Perhaps too much. He's giving me space to sort it out, I said, with enough of a bite that I barely recognized my voice. Let me help you, Rhys said. We went through enough under the mountain. I flinched. She wins, Rhys breathes. That bitch wins if you let yourself fall apart. They're killing me. They're killing me. She's now realizing that he let her not train her powers so that she will be just like naive and won't be able to do anything against him, or against Tamlin, because Tamlin probably knows she's gonna be really strong, and like he's allowing her to just stay stagnant. Like I mean, I guess it's just like his own like mental thing, and he like locked her in the house basically, which is so crazy. So basically now this is like a Rapunzel retelling, Tangled retelling story. I'm like going through so many emotions right now. She was like, I'm trapped, I'm a prisoner, there's no way out. And she started like almost having a panic attack. She's like, I can't get out, I can't get out. And then she felt somebody help her, and it was more Rhys's cousin, his only living family. Alice, like the handmaid, I don't know what you call her, she was like, please take care of her. I don't know if she said it like she was scared. She's like, oh my god, don't take her, no, how could you do this? Or like, because she knows like what's going on with her, it's not good for her well-being. More carried her. She's like, did you think his shield would keep us from you? Rhys shattered it with half a thought. And she was like, you're free. She goes, and then Farah, God, I can't. She goes, not safe, not protected, free. Oh, that's what she needs right now. She needs to be free. The second book is about her freedom and herself. The first book was like her trying to find stability and discovering not always feeling so on guard, not feeling safe and not wanting to fight, kind of, in the beginning of the book at least. Near the book, she had to like, you know, go back to her original self, kind of like to be hunted and like hunt and to survive. And then the second book, she's like embracing it. She doesn't need to be protected. Yeah, just because she's living a little bit more luxurious now, like doesn't mean she can't still, you know, want to protect herself. Like that's literally like to her core what she is. She's a warrior, she's a fighter, she's a strong, independent woman. And just Rhys is just helping her through it. Not even like depending, just like helping her regain her strength and remember who she was because she was so broken. Farah literally just said like very hard truth. I don't know how else you call that. Listen to this. So she's telling Rhys the truth. She goes, I was a lonely, hopeless person, and I might have fallen in love with the first thing that showed me a hint of kindness and safety. And I'm thinking maybe he knew that. Maybe not actively, but maybe he wanted to be that person for me. And maybe that worked for who I was before. Maybe it doesn't work for who I am now. There, the words, hurtful and selfish and ungrateful, for all Tamlin had done. Wow, you're right, because before Tamlin, she was just like so on her guard and like thought she was gonna live in poverty forever, thought she was gonna have to live in fear and like not knowing her next meal, like just thinking about her family, not for herself. And even when she did find Tamlin, like when he like took care of her family for her and she was just to be there, she's like, okay, but who am I now? And then she fell in love, and that's what became her personality, and like literally she would do or die for him because she's just like a loyal girl, because that's what she did for her family and that's what she did for Tamlin, to put them above her own self. She's just trying to see who she is, like without someone needing her. No, that's not the right word. I forgot where I was going with those thoughts. Those are kind of like good thoughts, right? I literally feel like I'm in an English class. I have to find the symbolisms, I have to find the motifs, I have to find the imagery. It's a lot. Rhys called Farah his salvation. Oh my god. But also, this is like very much an adventure type book, this one. Like they're going on quests, they're going on missions, they're having trials and tests. A little bit more not scattered, but more of a journey to get to like the overall concept. The first one was like very easy to read. This one, a little bit more thought, a little bit more imagination, having to go into it. And now they're flirting, and he was like, did you like seeing me on your knees? Wait, did you like seeing me on my knees? But before that, they were like making jokes about like having someone warm her bed, and he's like, well, if you need to move on in the physical sense, I'm sure Cashin can warm your bed, something like that. And I'm like, oh, so you're saying she's already moved on the mental sense? I thought she was still kind of like thinking about it or on the edge, but I mean, she hasn't mentioned him at all. I just feel like maybe, yeah, Tamlin was her first love, or like what she thought was love, like a naivety almost. But like they never really got to truly know each other because of the curse. Like he couldn't say much, but like he could have been more vulnerable, I feel like. But I don't think he was that vulnerable because of the curse and stuff. It was like his thing, whatever. He's like a beast, like Beauty and the Beast retelling, you know? It's like he was broody. He opened up a little bit, but not much. Okay, so now at the human realm, and she's trying to train her powers, but she can't really train, or like it's not like working, so she's been there for a while. So Rhys like writes her letter because she sends him away because he was distracting her, and he writes her a letter, and then she like writes back, and it disappears and goes back and forth. But like he like mentioned he's like, wow, look how nice your handwriting is, because I forgot she couldn't like write or read, and now she's like reading books and she's like writing back and forth like in full sentences, when in the beginning of the book she was like struggling just to say, you look delicious today, Feyre, or something like that. Like, oh wow. So much time has passed, my god. Feyre is like slowly but surely looking back at her relationship with Tamlin, and she realized like she had been scared of Tamlin's outbursts and rage, and she said, it had been love and I meant it. Maybe they'd been a blanket over my eyes about the temper, the need for control, the need to protect that ran so deep he'd lock me up like a prisoner. Oh my god. And then I like also just had this realization that like she keeps saying like Tamlin's a protector, a defender, and that's like kind of what he did like in the first book. He didn't say anything to anyone, he did what he thought was best. So he just keeps, oh wait, I think I talked about this before already. Crazy realizations right now, okay? She goes, I'm fine, and he goes, Cashin, she's talking to Cash. Oh, this is in her mind, she's like boxing, she's letting her anger out. She goes, we both knew fine was a lie. I had done everything for that love. I had ripped myself to shreds. I had killed innocents and debased myself, and he just sat beside Amarantha, whatever, on that throne, and he couldn't do anything. Hadn't risked being caught until there was one night left. All he wanted to do wasn't free me, but fuck me. And again. 1, 2, 1, 2. And when Amarantha had broken me, when she had snapped my bones and made my blood boil in its veins, he just knelt and begged her. He hadn't tried to kill her, hadn't crawled for me. Yes, he fought for me, but I fought harder for him. Again and again, each pound of my fist on the sparring pads, a question and an answer. And he had the nerve, once his powers were back, to shove me into a cage. The nerve to say I was no longer useful. I was to be holstered for his peace of mind. He'd given me everything I needed to become myself, to feel safe. And when he got what he wanted, when he got his powers back, his lands back, he stopped trying. He was still good, still Tamlin, but he was just wrong. This girl's just exhausted. She's been trying to avoid that like since she left, like to not think of him, and like the reason why she is the way she is because of him. He like is the one who put her through that, basically, which is so sad. Like, I also don't hate Tamlin. I mean, sure, he's not my favorite, but like, I don't detest him. Like, he's not a villain. They had to do what they had to do during war times. I have not updated in so long about this book. I look crazy right now. So I got to the part, okay, so he got attacked, all right? And she's like, where's he at? Because he winnow her farther away, pushed her so she doesn't get taken as well. She's like, where is he? She had like this feral urge to find him, and she found him. She winnowed even though she's not, and then she used her powers to kill all the guards. Like, she went beast mode for real. And I don't know if they're ever gonna talk about that, because what she did, wow, she was savage, and she didn't care about killing them because she was protecting what was hers. And that's like her first time killing since the trials, so I feel like that was a big moment that they didn't talk about. He got saved, but he was like poisoned because it was ash arrow poison, and it was in his wings, and like he was tied up and everything. So she went to find the Sorial, the one that like she caught before, like told her the truth, whatever. I don't know if I talked about that in the first book. They can't tell a lie, and so she caught them, and she's like, to save your mate. And she's like, whoa, what'd you say? And they're like, to save your, oh, you don't know. And she didn't answer, and they were like, oh, that's interesting. They're like, yeah, that's your mate. And then once she healed him, she like sliced her blood because she has healing powers from the other High Lords, and made him drink her blood. And then like he was chewing on something to help him heal, and he was like getting more conscious. And she was like, how long have you known I was your mate? And he was like, oh. And he's like had a feeling, he's known, and he like told the whole story after he got better. He was like, I used to have dreams when I was a Mara slave. That was just so sad. Just they keep bringing up the backstory of him, and that he was like literally a sex slave for like 50 years. Like, that is so sad. And he was like using bit of his power that he can to shield Velius. I don't know how to pronounce these things. So he was been doing that. He's been doing other things. And so all of that, his powers were used to do that he barely had any power for himself. He was the strongest High Lord that ever. That's crazy. Anyways, so he's been having dreams while he was a slave to Amara. I keep calling her Amara, the queen, whatever. He saw one of the visions, so he sent a vision back, and that's when she would see the starry night, even though she barely saw the night because she was too tired from hunting that she would sleep in at night. And so they've been kind of communicating that way, and then he saw another vision when she was in the spring court, so that's when he went out to that one night to see her, that first time that he saw her. Wow, that is so sad. He's like, you were in love with another man, and I just rather you be happy or be alive than, because he also like doesn't think of himself as worthy, and he's like, well, everyone I love always runs away from me, whatever. And then she accepts the maid bond after the whole story. Like, there's more to the story. You should read it. Like, it was like a whole monologue. I was like, zoom. She accepts the maid bond, so of course, you know, they do it. And now they're like feral. But like, oh my god, they're maids. How did she not know? I'm confused. I'm just confused how she didn't know. They're still trying to figure out stuff with the war. I feel like this book, I am 87% of the book. So I feel like this book is mainly like the adventure, trial, test, and missions that they have to do before the war. And then I think the next book will be the war. So, oh, another shocking part is that she encountered Lucian and Braun or something while she was training, and they tried to take her, and she was so upset, so mad, and it was so sad, honestly, because like she saw Lucian as a friend, and he's just like, he wasn't listening. He was like, we gotta take you back. He hasn't been the same. He's sorry. People make mistakes. Like, can't you forgive someone after just making one mistake? And she was like, he trapped me. You saw me killing myself every day, dying in there, and you didn't help me. I begged you to help me. And that was like literally so sad. Like, her finally like coming to acceptance about that, because she never really said it before. For her to put a mask on towards them to like protect like the secrets that the night court was holding of that secret city. They're like, what have you become? What did they do to you? Wow. Another part of Rhys's story, he was like, I saw you die. You died for him, for the man you love. Like, that's so sad. Like, she literally was putting herself through all of this before the man she loved, which was his enemy. Remember in the book, like you read it, if you didn't though. So early in the book, when they went to meet the queen, they're like, you need to show us proof of this so-called like niceness that you are, because you know the rumors are that the night court is like evil and horrendous and heinous and terrible. So she's like, okay, you have to give us proof that you guys aren't actually like that. Like, we can't just take your word for it. And so they all thought, like, oh my god, we have to show them the secret land that we've kept hidden. And so they get a mirror ball, like not a mirror ball, like a orb thing that like shows truth. So like they know, like humans know that that's true, like it's not fabricated. What they see is like legit. And so Farah was like, oh yeah, we need to show them that. But after they made it and they go, it's there now that they have the orb, they go there and she's like, no, we can't show the orb now. Like, she was feeling protective over it because it's her land now and that's her people. And earlier they were like, that's her family. And then these queens are like, we'll think about it. And like he sent like his request to see them or like ask them for help was like a love letter. He's like, I'm not speaking to you as a high fae, I'm speaking to you as a man who fell in love with once human, something like that. Like, I wish to see her visit her family when there's no whatever, like I hope there's peace in the world, that she could visit her family without hatred, things like that. And I was like, oh. And then the queens are like, we'll think about it. And they're like, what do you mean you'll think about it? We have no time. And they're like, who's to say there's not manipulation? Blah, 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 blah. Now Nesta's like getting angry and she's like begging, and Nesta never begs. Nesta's like the cold queen. And she's like, please give us a fighting chance. If you're not gonna help us, give my sister the book. And I'm at that point now. Oh my god. So the meeting just ended and they were in shock that they were like gonna say no, the queens of the mortal realm. And I'm not explaining this well. Like, I hope you have read this book because I'm not saying this story well at all. My mind keeps getting blown. Am I that simpleton of a girl? Yes. They notice one of the main queen, the golden queen, left something under her seat when they left. It's part of the book that they were looking for. Rhys picks it up and there's a note. The note reads, I read your letter about the woman you love. I believe you and I believe in peace. I believe in a better world. If anyone asks, you stole this during the meeting. Do not trust the others. The sixth queen was not ill. there's corruption in the courts. Well, not surprising. He just reacted like out loud, like, oh my god, because when like, not when she was younger, when she was a little bit younger and she was painting, she like painted her sister's like things, like in their room, she like painted each thing of theirs, like something that kind of represents them. And on hers, she drew stars. Remember I was saying how she like had this image of stars and stuff? And so Nessa looks at like Rhys and Cashin and then to Feyre, and she bowed her head and said, that was why you painted stars on your drawer. You drew stars around my scars and now I'm bleeding. Also earlier when Rhys, you were my toilet flushing, when Rhys was explaining like the whole mating thing and how he knew, he like explained that like when she died, he like reached into their bond and the string attaching them together, and was like pulling at it, tugging for her to keep holding on and like holding on to her. And then he went into each of the High Lords like brains to like put their powers to like resurrect her. They didn't say no. They like said yes right away, but like him voicing that and begging, and he was the only one who fought, the one who like really wanted to stab, to like try to kill her, to get after her when Amara was killing Feyre. Like, that's so crazy. And then like Tamlin wasn't doing anything. Tamlin just was like, please Amara, please, begging Amara, not even saying anything, not even trying to stop her, like really, he's just begging. But like Rhys was like a man of action. It just shows, you know? Literally so mad that I have to stop reading right now because I have to eat and then get ready for work. But oh my god, an epic battle just went on in Veliaris. Oh my god, I don't know how to pronounce the city. The queens sold the information, or like whatever, someone came and attacked them. I think they were allies and they like took their brain, and then the golden one, the one that was good and gave the thing, died. They died right in front of them, and then her body was like thrown, she was dead. And then Feyre got super mad and she killed so many people. She defended the people, and then she went into the sky and attacked the altar and killed him brutally. She was a savage. She was like, this is for Rhys, this is for the people, and this is for me. Like stabbed him, and then she put the ash things into his wings so he was poisoned, and then she like became fire, and like they were crashing down into the earth like fire and then poison, and he was Ator, I don't know how to like even imagine it, died obviously. And now we're into war now. They literally, I can't believe this. They found the village. So he just gave her the ring that she stole for herself, like during her little test, family heirloom. And the mom was like, your bride will have to either be strong enough or smart enough to get it out, or else marriage won't last. She's just like, so I stole my own wedding ring. And she's like, do you want me to wear it? And it's like, if you want to. She decided that after they nullified the cauldron, she wants to do it all, get the bond declared, get married, throw a stupid party, and invite everyone in Veliaris. That's what the city's called, okay? I don't know what I've been calling it this whole time, which is such also, you know, such a contradiction to earlier in the book when she was like, ugh, I don't want to do this, I don't want to do this, letting the high priestess do everything for her. Feyre has grown so much. She's been through so much, and she's finally happy. And now they like keep saying, they're like, we're gonna fight for our happiness, we deserve it, we're gonna fight for our happy ending. And I'm like, I feel the emotions. I'm on chapter 61 now, 93% of the way now. Remember when I said, oh, Tamlin's alright, Tamlin's alright? No, like I was like, oh, I don't hate him, he's just there, like I don't hate him. My blood is boiling. I'm so mad, I want to cry. I hate him. Like, what the heck? He's so dumb. Like, he was so blinded by power and like love, I guess, like wanting to control everything, that he literally made a bargain with the king of Hybrim. I don't know, how do you call that? The king literally also made a deal, like he'll break the bargain, right? That Feyre can't go with Tamlin once a month with him. I freaking don't know, it's too late for this. But like, he also made a bargain that when he gets Feyre back, that Feyre will work with him. Feyre's like, I made no bargain with you. And he goes, no, but your master did, so you will obey. Like, the nerve of Tamlin to just, it really makes me so mad. I want to cry. I hate him. Why would he do this? Molten rage poured into me. I hissed at Tamlin. If you bring me from here, if you take me from my mate, I will destroy you. I will destroy your court and everything you hold dear. Good. Like, how dare he do that? Like, what? That's so icky. That's so gross. I'm pissed off. I'm literally crying. Farah has to pretend to like be woken up from a smell, and like they have to break their bond so that she can protect her friends. I'm not okay right now. She has to pretend to like dandmwn, and she hates him, but she's doing it to protect her friends, the Court of Dreamers, because of what they did for her. I look. You wanna help me? I have a few more left. Goddamn. A day or so since I finished the book. Oh my god, this book was way better than the first book, some aspects, but I will say there was not many high intense scenes as much. I could see how you would get bored by it because of all the like little side missions. It was like almost like an adventure type genre in this book. I liked it because it was like the build up of Farah learning her powers, her relationship with Rhys and the inner circle, her discovering herself and fixing herself and becoming who she really is, and like her overcoming her struggles. And I really liked that. I liked it a lot. And I also obviously I like her and Rhys. I was like, oh, oh, oh. And at the end scene, as you saw my reaction, I was sobbing. I was like, oh my god, it's just like so sad because like how they kept saying that they're gonna fight for their future together, a peaceful one, and they know that they have to fight in order to get that outcome. Dandmwn, hate his guts. I don't want to talk about him anymore, but like compared to the first book, I feel like it's so sad how they made him like a villain like that. We'll see how he redeems himself if he ever does. I don't want to write off a character. I feel like because I'm reading a book, I don't like super hate a character compared to like when I'm watching a show or a movie when I actually see it and like feel more emotion, because I didn't feel that many emotions in general towards Dandmwn in the first place. I was just like, oh, of course he did that. Of course he did. No complaints about the second book. I still think it's really good. And I was like feeling a lot because I'm like a huge shipper of people. And so of course I shipped Farah and Rhys, which is the spoiler thing that I knew about. That's my thoughts on it. My rating on it, I hate rating books because it's like so subjective and it's like hard to put a number on it. So like 4 out of 5 again, or I feel like a little bit lower than the first book, so maybe like a 3.5 out of 5, which is average, you know, no hate. Which I hate this is why I hate giving ratings, because like I feel like that number is not accurate to what I feel, but then I can't give it 4.5 because that means I feel the same way about this book to the last book, and I don't really, you know, there's just like a little bit of a difference. I feel like it's a completely different type of genre. It's like not so mysterious anymore. It's more like, oh, I mean, it was really sad in the beginning and then became adventure. That's how I describe it, at least. So that's my rating for the second book, and I'm taking a little break from reading the series to just not read, maybe, even though I'm dying to read the third book, but I'm trying to let like the people in the book club, even though I like way past ditch them, waiting for the people in the book club to catch up as much as I can. So yeah, I will see you when I start reading the next book. Peace out.